In this video lecture, we will be looking at if statements in Java programming. Decision making is one of the important aspects of computer programming, and Java programming is not an exception. In Java programming, there will be a time where you are needed as a developer to put a case where an option is being given and the computer is meant to take a decision based on the program reading. In this case, we use some decision-making statements like if statement. Here, you are allowing the computer to choose between a specified option. So if this is met, then this should go. This can only be done when this is in this order. You might get in this like confused. What am I saying? Let's go ahead and look at this example just very before us. This is an example of if statement. I created a variable called x and I assigned a value of 121 to x, and x is an integer value. Now, I come down here and said, if x is greater than 20, then you should print out on the screen, this is if statement. If we go ahead and compile this right now and run it, down here you can see this is if statement. What in a case where I said if x is greater than 121, go ahead and compile. Nothing is done because x is equal to 121. What in a case where I said if x is less than 20, go ahead and run this right now. Nothing is being executed, and this is the place we are having problem. Therefore, we need another type of statement in decision making to take care of this immediately. But if statement is what we just treated in this class alone. Therefore, in the next video lecture, we go ahead and look at how to solve the problem when a condition is not met. What can be done about it? Because something must be done for everything to balance. Okay, this is all about if statement in Java programming. I believe you really understood it. Then there will be a time when you give the computer a condition whereby it needs to do something at a particular point in time. If you're having questions on this particular lecture, please use the question and answer sections, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture. In this video lecture, we will be looking at if-else statement. Previously, we looked at if statement and we had a problem because there is a place where we cannot be able to go further, and at that point we get nothing in return. So the question is, how can we be able to solve the problem so that we can be able to get a result when a condition is not met? We take a computer, go over there and get something, and it goes there and couldn't see that. It has to do something else. Therefore, an if-else statement is the best option to use here. Let's go ahead and look at the following example to see how if-else statement works. Over here, we have a variable x with a value of 121, and it is an integer variable. So we check if s is less than 20, you print this is if statement. But if x is not equal to 20, is not less than 20, then it should be what? This is else if else statement. So go over here and compile this right now. X is less than 20. If x is less than 20, this is if else if statement. Else, this is if else statement. So we can see that we have this is if else statement. And let's change the value of x to 19. 19. And go ahead and compile. This is if statement. This is because x is less than 20. So you can go ahead and check many options and try many things and get your hands dirty with programming, and you're going to enjoy it. Just follow me step by step and you will learn lots and lots of things in this course under Java programming. Okay, this is all about if else statement. In the next video, we'll look at something very more important. However, if you have any question under this lecture, please use the question and answer sections and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture. In this video lecture, we'll be looking at if-else statement. If-else statement exists because if-else statement is not enough in Java programming. Therefore, programmers have the ability to extend the decision making in programming. This is when else if came in. You have a condition where we check if something meets a particular condition. Else if it still meets another condition. Else if it meets another condition. You keep creating else if. And you go ahead and end it with else. When all these conditions are not met, go ahead and stop this or do this. So you can check many conditions and check out and check out. If nothing happens, you go ahead and stop it. You can terminate the action. Just imagine in a case where someone is trying an ATM pin for the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and after like 10 trials, it will say you are not longer accepted. You are no longer accepted to this ATM. So please get to the bank and clarify with your issues with them. So this is a case study whereby you can use else if. There are many other options in programming where you can use else if depending on what you are building. But you need to know how else if works. First of all, we have if statement starting this condition. We check if int x is equal to 19. You go ahead and check out. If x is less than 20, go ahead and print out this value is below 20. Else, if the customer puts x is equal to 100, go ahead and print out this is 100. Else, if you receive 80, the machine will go ahead and print out this is 80. Else, if you put something like 50, the machine will print out this is 50. If all these are tried and nothing is met, else the machine will print out this value does not exist. In case you just try something that does not align with this. Or you can just put up your time has been exhausted or anything. So when you use else, you've already terminated the action. Let's go ahead and check out this to see how it works. Go ahead and run this. This value is below 20. This is because x is equal to 19. What if we go ahead and put x equal to 100? Come back here and run. It will say this is 100. If we go back and say x is equal to 50, and we go over here and run this, and we say this is 50. And when you go ahead and say x is equal to 700, you go ahead and run this. Let's check it out. This value does not exist. You can see that. This value does not exist. So, this is a condition whereby you are checking so many things out. You want to know what this is really, what is the right option. Did you put the right keyword? Then you go ahead and execute it. So there are many cases whereby you can use IfElse statement. So in decision making in Java programming, there are lots of options that you're going to use. You will still see many other decision making statements in Java programming that's going to help you out in case you want your system to do lots and lots of job. Okay, this is all about IfElse statement. If you have any question under this particular lecture, please do not fail to use the question and answer sections, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture. In this video lecture, we will be looking at switch statement. Switch statement is another type of decision-making statement in Java programming. We've looked at if statement, IfElse statement, IfElse statement, or else if statement, whatever you call it. Now we have another type of decision-making statement in Java programming, and this is really very interesting. In fact, this is my best. This is one I use most times if I'm programming, because it makes the work to be lots and lots of easy. You consider a case whereby you have to check out the grades of a student. You have thousands of students, and you'll be checking out who made an A, who made a B, C, D, E, or F, or any other type of scenario whereby you want to use this as a Java developer. Switch statement is the best way to do this. When a student enters his or her mark, it will tell the student, you made an A, this is excellent. You made a B, this is very good. You made a C, this is good. You made a B, you passed. You made an E, wake up. You made an F, you failed. So this is a case that is very interesting in Java programming, because most developers use this always. In fact, switch statement makes your code to be very clean and very neat. How do we use switch statement, and what are they doing? First of all, you're going to create a variable of whatever you want to check out. It can be integer variable, it can be a float. The variable type can be character, it can be integer, it can be float, or anything. So the data type who's going to use it. So create a variable first, and then you choose the data type you want to use. But for this case, the data type we are going to use is a character type, whereby you are using char, and we are going to check just a character. Is either you put a B, an A, C, D, E, or F. Now, when you've chosen the variable and data type you want to check out, maybe it's an integer, you want someone to put either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So in a case where that is met, something should be done. So here we'll be checking if a student gets a character of A, B, C, D, E, or F. So when the character you put in is an A, the system will go ahead and print out this is excellent. And once it prints out this is excellent, it will go ahead and use another system.out.println and give you your grade, either A, B, C, D, E, or F, depending on what you put. So when a student puts a B, the system go ahead and print out very good. And when you put C, it goes ahead and print out good. When you put D, it goes ahead and print out passed. When you put an E, it go ahead and say wake up. And when you put an F, it goes ahead and print out failed. Now, all this will not be executed at the same time. When you put a grade A, it will check if this an A. If it's not, it breaks out and go to B and breaks out. So whenever you see a break enables a switch statement to be able to cut off from that region where it is and go over to check out another region, because this code is being executed line by line. And this is done just in a twinkle, in a microsecond. So we use break in all our switch statements in order to break out from a region where we are to move over to check for another, and until we meet it. If we don't meet it, the last one is going to be a default. It's going to tell you that we have searched everything, but we never get this particular stuff you are looking for. So in this our own, we said this is invalid grade. Let's go ahead and check it out. We have character, the grade here is A. Let's change this A to E and go ahead and compile. It says wake up, your grade is E. You can see that. Wake up, your grade is E. And go ahead and remove this and put an F. Go ahead and compile again. It said failed, your grade is F. You can see that. What if you go ahead and put an A and you come back here and refresh? You say excellent, your grade is A. I hope you can see that. It is just very easy and straightforward. So this is one interesting part of using if switch statement in Java programming. And you can see that the code is just looking good. I can go ahead and keep checking many things, and each one I check, I break out and go over to the next one until I don't get what I see. I put a default. So it is a must that you use a default so that you can be able to tell the user this is either this or we didn't meet the option, or you should try again later. So I believe you really understood how switch statement works, because you can't just keep using else if, else if, else if, else if always. So you can see that this code is just very simple and it is straightforward, and you have lots of things that you can be able to do at a time, and that is very interesting. So this is all about switch statement, and if you have any question under this particular lecture, please go ahead and use the question and answer sections, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture. In this video lecture, we will be looking at nested if statement. Okay, we've looked at some if statements or decision-making statements in Java programming. Java has many different types of decision makings. We've looked at if, else if, and so many, like switch statements. Now we have nested if statement. Nested if statement is a type of statement where the if condition has another if condition inside it. This means we have double of these conditions nesting into one another. When we talk about nesting, picture it in your mind like a bird nesting, making a nest where it twinkles about different things and join them together in order to make its home. Therefore, in nested statement, you are putting in a decision-making statement inside another decision-making statement. So, this is a clear example just very before us. Here, I created an integer value, a variable x with integer value 9, another variable y with integer value 50. Here, in the first if statement, I checked if 90 is equivalent to x. Nothing will happen except if 50 is equivalent to y. Then this is go ahead and print out this is nested if statement. Let's go ahead and run this code here and see what happens. This is nested if statement is printed out. What in a case where any of these conditions failed, like 50, I'm going to say 40. Go ahead and compile this. Run, and you see nothing was printed on the console. But if you go back and put this back to 50 and print this, x is equal to 90 and y is equal to 50. Therefore, this is nested if statement. So, this is called equivalent. So, once they are equal, so it will go ahead and print out this is nested if statement. I believe this is very easy. You can nest many things, as many as possible, not just one or two. You can nest multiple. So, if you really understood this, or you have any question concerning nested if statement, please do well to put your question on the question and answer sections, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture.